Well, that's a good start for this November 5th, 2015, knowing that somewhere on the website that you love and co-create with your friends, there's a vicious burn lurking.
Hey, at least I didn't mention the Packers in it.
I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, so Dieter is here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Vergecast, Dieter. He's generally here. But you were gone last week, so
I was.
You're back.
Yeah.
Dan Seifert is here.
I am.
Hello. And then my girl in the hype seat, Nicola Fumo from Racked is here.
Hello.
Nicola, how's, what is it, Project Overlord?
Dude,
Overthrow?
Operation Figurehead. Come on.
Project Overlord. How's your hashtag / life strategy going?
I mean, you know I've been meeting with your staff.
Yes. Nicola is, this is true. So here's I'm just going to set some like scenes for people.
Please.
So we at Vox Media, we have an office building here in Midtown New York. We have basically every floor of this office building contains Vox Media employees at this point. There's a guy in the basement just desperately.
Sub-basement, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, SB1. He's down there writing about sports. And then, so the Verge is on the 9th floor. The studio where we're recording this on the 8th floor. And then Racked and Eater and Curbed are on the 10th floor. But I've suddenly noticed that there's a lot of cross-floor pollination as Nicola has
You'll
begun
catch
to
me all
weave.
over the place.
She's
You'll
begun
catch me
to
on 9,
weave
you'll
her
catch me
way.
on 8. I've been on 5. What do you even know about 5?
I've never been to 5. What the hell happens on 5?
You have to take a different elevator to get there. That's all I know.
Yeah, you'll take a different elevator.
Wait, so you can't go directly from 5 to 9?
There's
No.
one elevator.
There's only one central elevator that hits all the floors.
This is
others
the
are
worst
like,
radio in history.
Oh my God.
It's split off at the 7th floor.
Here's what I want
Let's
you to
start
do.
this all over.
No, look, here's...
Hello, welcome to the Vergecast.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
elevators.
Greetings, mobile accomplishers.
Anyhow, Nicola has you will begin to see the fruits of her subtle weaving. I don't know what that means.
My Operation
Operation
Figurehead.
Overlord. Anyhow, Nicola's here. Hi, Nicola.
Hi.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Since you're a style editor and all, I walked out of the house wearing this thing with like the shirt not buttoned, and my wife was like, "You look like a shithead, basically." Shithead or no?
I mean,
So I'm wearing the people on the radio. I'm wearing a t-shirt with a shirt over it and then a jacket over the shirt.
I don't really know why you did that, but I don't
Yeah.
think you look like a shithead.
I mean, she was basically like, "You can make your own dumb mistakes, Nilay," and like literally like
Were those
dismissed
like
me. It's like,
exact words? Shithead? Like they came out of Becky's mouth?
Becky, I think she didn't say shithead, but we've been married for some time, and you're married, you know.
Yep.
Code words for shithead.
She
Frequently,
said
nothing
some,
needs to be said for me to hear in my head, shithead.
Yeah, there was a grumbling noise, a
did
series
it
of
bad.
stomping motions.
Was it one of those? So that, huh?
Yeah,
those,
it was
yeah.
bad. It was bad.
What
Yeah.
is an outfit
Yeah.
that she likes? Where she's like, ooh, good work.
Oh yeah, she purchases most of my clothes, so
Yeah.
like that's like a thing. But yeah, she likes it when the shirt's unbuttoned and I wear a tie. That's a fact.
Yeah. You do that often.
Yes, again because I'm 5 and I'm dressed by the woman I'm married
I always
to.
figure you're going somewhere. Like that's what figureheads do. They have to go places
Wouldn't it be
where they have to
creepy
wear
if you were
ties.
5 and dressed by the woman that you were married to?
Well, not
Like, put those
physically
things
dressed.
together. But if you were 5 and married, that seems wrong.
Oh yeah. Well, as a 5-year-old, I married fellow kindergartner. A lovely ceremony at recess. You didn't happen to you? All right, whatever. This is our show. As you may have noticed from this conversation, it's about technology and culture and how they blend together. So there's a reason Nicola's here. I think an
Nothing's an accident.
ultimate Nicola moment happened this week.
Oh, yes.
Go ahead. Tell me all about it.
Pack Vaporizer, which is the iPhone of vaporizers, to put it short. I don't get paid by them yet. But they collaborated with The Weeknd, no third E. And
How do you denote that when saying something? Do you
Dude,
like Weeknd?
my phone is like, it will not learn weekend.
Right.
How often are you typing that into your phone?
Too often.
Yeah,
it's happening.
It seems as though.
Yeah, so he, The Weeknd, and Pax, the vaporizer brand, have collaborated on a tour-specific Weeknd vaporizer that's like, I think it's $325 instead of $280, but it says XO, which is The Weeknd's brand, on it, and it plays I Can't Feel My Face like when you're smoking the herbal matter.
Yeah, so it's a vape that plays pop music at you when you
that
smoke
you can
weed.
only buy at weekend shows.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm very confused by this tie-up because The Weeknd sings about doing pills all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like every single Weeknd lyric has a reference to pills. How do you do pills through a vape?
Well, I think it's a different version. It's a new way to not feel your face. He's expanding. He's like a pop artist and trying pot.
I just think it's amazing that like we talked about this on the show last time you were here.
Yeah.
Like it's a gadget that has made smoking weed totally acceptable all
Beautiful
over the place.
gadget. Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful gadget. B, The Weeknd's 2 major endorsements now are Apple and like a
Pets.
weed computer.
And Alexander Wang. He also this week announced he's going to be doing like a collaboration with Alexander Wang. So he's just like all over the place.
Yeah,
XO.
he's doing it. I mean, ultimate Nicola moment. Like, tell me. So when this happened to The Verge, like we all like freaked out. Tell me what happened at Racked when this went down.
Yeah, when I got this press release, I just like went into the Racked Lounge and I was like, "We have reached peak Nicola. These things are happening. We have to write about them right now." And then someone did because I figured out I didn't write it myself.
Ooh, you sent it out.
I signed it.
That's so
Delegation.
Do you also do this dismissive hand wave when you assign stories?
I have. Yeah, that's my Slack emoji.
So hang on. So he had a hit album, and then he immediately turned and partnered with a tech company, a weed tech company.
The album came out, and the single that was launched off the album was at WWDC with Apple.
If he gets named as a creative director for a tech company, I am officially naming him the next Will.i.am.
No,
But he probably can't because he's too in bed with Apple, so
Yeah.
he can't really go anywhere from there.
Right.
That's true.
He can be the creative director for the weed computer company.
Yeah, that's acceptable.
All right.
Yeah.
Natural.
I mean, I think that's the most important story of the week in terms of technology culture.
That's the
Yeah.
Vergecast, everybody.
This is the-
If you'd like
this
to
is
follow
the
us on
mashup.
Twitter.
Yeah. But this is the thing, right? Like, here's the big musician partnering with the gadget company and the biggest tech company in the world. Like, I don't know. It's like one of those things. All right, so there's other news we should talk about. Although
Yeah.
I think we could just be done there.
Right.
So some minor news, a little stuff. Google this week, last week. Was it this week or last week?
It's a little both.
Yeah. Well, it's announced, I think, at the tail end of last week. It came out in a Wall Street Journal story that was suspiciously planted, in my opinion, that Android and Chrome OS would something,
Canoodle.
something.
Yeah. Merge, come together
kill one another.
right now. Over me.
And so we put up a headline. I'm gonna reveal some inside baseball.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we put up a headline based on some reporting that we had been trying to do for a long time.
Yep.
Because we had heard this a long time ago that Android would quote kill Chrome OS,
Yeah.
which is basically what Google is saying, but they're trying very hard not to say it.
Yeah.
Like 5 years from now, there will not be a product called Chrome OS. It's like fairly obvious.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least not a consumer-facing product called Chrome OS.
Who the hell knows?
Well, so the question, like the technical question is like what does it even mean to be Android or Chrome OS, and like what's the foundation of it? And like to me, it's like
That the technical question or the existential question?
both, and it's like it's like the
am I?
kernel that like that makes other things happen, right? Yeah. So like we talk about like tvOS and watchOS is basically fundamentally being iOS. I don't know, like so is Android getting packed into Chrome or Chrome OS, or is Chrome OS the pieces of it that you care about getting packed into Android? And it's like, are they going to build Android up to support it, or are they going to like trim? I don't know that Chrome OS needs that much more trimming down. Are they going to trim Chrome OS down so it can run on other phone type things?
But anyway, so the backstory is we put up this headline and said kill because we had been hot on this case.
Yep.
The story came out in the journal. It looked very much like it had been massaged by a certain large search company. And whatever. If they
DuckDuckGo.
wanted to place, DuckDuckGo to leak to the journal. And I mean, I don't mean to say there's any like malice there. Like it just looked like it had been placed, like you do. You get a story. Anyway, we put up kill. Everybody freaked out.
Everybody being
Everybody.
everyone we knew at Google.
Everybody we knew Google because a lot of people Google read The Verge, and so there was this like instant flurry of conversation about how everything will be fine. They're not killing it. The products will remain separate. They're still selling so many Chromebooks to schools. They're gonna sell them forever.
Yep.
Suddenly, Hiroshi Lockheimer is like
tweeting. Well, he's been tweeting a while.
yeah,
Tweets at me.
but like, if you're the reason I brought up the it's placed in the journal part is like if you're gonna say the stuff to the Wall Street Journal
Yeah.
and get the story in the journal,
Yeah.
why not just
Get it right.
get it right? Or why not come out ahead of that story and tell it yourself and let everybody... There's like a weird, sloppy messaging part where it's like they didn't really know what they were wanting to say. They said something, and now they've been scrambling to correct it ever since.
Yeah.
Including like tweets from Hiroshi and also finally a post on the Google Chrome blog that Chrome OS is here to stay. And if you read through the post, but the joke I made on Twitter is that Google is really good at parsing data, and they're also pretty good at parsing words.
Ooh.
Fighting words.
Although I will say Google PR is the most notoriously disconnected PR operation.
Yes, it is. It is a hydra head of PR.
It's like actually hard, to suggest that they have like done some like careful arranging of words.
I would say that it's about average. I've been dealing with a lot of PR issues over the past while, and I'd put them in the middle of the pack.
Oh yeah, no, they're good.
Yeah.
I enjoy work. I'm just saying, it's hard to like assume
Google,
that there's some mastermind plan going on in the background.
because there's not at Google. Google
Yeah.
like Sergey Brin gets an idea, and all of a sudden there's like a giant multi-million-dollar division like a week later, and they're like, "Are we going to tell anybody about this?" Like,
And now,
I guess.
now he can do that more often because he runs Alphabet.
Right. He's got like 26 letters to play with.
Did you see that story, Nicola, that Sergey Brin literally renamed the company Alphabet like on a whim, did no focus testing or asking of people?
No, I didn't see that, but that's tight. That's
That's-
very figurehead.
That's what I'm saying. That's why that's why I told you.
That's inspirational.
That's like life goals.
yeah.
I don't know. So what do you? I think this is smart. I actually think Google needs a unified platform. I did a whole show with Walt yesterday where he talked about Google making its own hardware. Like Google needs to get into a different kind of game that isn't just like search.
It's very odd that they've had these two separate platforms developing separate tracks and like for different purposes. Like when you think about like Apple and Microsoft, it kind of makes sense for them to have a desktop OS and a mobile OS because they have a legacy behind them. Like Google started this less than 10 years ago, right? For both Android and Chrome OS. So for them to have developed along two different tracks is kind of weird, and it makes complete sense for them to eventually merge them and take the best of both and put it together.
So what is Chrome OS fundamentally? Like, what does it depend on as a computing platform? The web. Merging these two things is a hedge against the death of the web, which Google is terrified of. And they need to make sure that they are prepared to have a computing platform that can compete if the web ends up not being as important as apps in a real way that affects their business.
I don't think the web is dying. Like there's all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to kill the web with a product as shitty as Apple News. Like has anybody used Apple News?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Hype check Apple News.
I read the Times briefing on it every morning.
So you use Apple News to bypass the New York Times paywall.
I guess so.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Like,
totally legitimate
fine.
use.
But do you use it for anything else? Do you use it to read Racked?
Well, it doesn't update. It'll be like a day old.
Yep.
They'll have 19 hours ago stories, and I'm like, we wrote stuff since then, but it won't. And I asked people here about it, and they're like, yeah, we can't do anything. It's them. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone just makes that noise, but the New York
it's
Times
just
one is.
emulating a newspaper in that respect.
Yeah.
You're getting yesterday's
Oh, there you
news.
go.
But the New York
Yeah.
Times one isn't. It's like it's the 6 o'clock thing is there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm reading about Syria when I need to. Try to stay current.
Yeah, no, you gotta figure out. It's gotta know. Like if you get that call, you'd be like, I actually have some deep
about
ideas about Syria right now. No, I actually have heard a lot of people complain from a lot of publications that their stuff doesn't update.
Yep.
Because it's like a glorified RSS, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's the back end. I don't know. We should figure out how the New York Times is doing that, and then deliver our own Syria news every day at 6.
Maybe you just have to write
Apple
about
News gets
Syria.
super weird every day at 6.
But you only can catch it for an hour.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So actually, hype check Apple News.
On a number scale,
However you want to do it.
3 stars.
Wait, 3 stars or 3 likes? Oh, we should
3
talk
hearts.
about that.
That's
Stars
in the
and likes.
lightning round.
God damn it.
The third section of the
Are we going to
Vergecast
talk
today.
about Twitter lightning in the lightning round?
Maybe.
'Cause I have feelings.
Oh man.
Okay.
The way I've structured the show today, just so you know,
Yeah.
is we've got the Google thing. Nicola has 400 smartwatches over there that we should talk about, and then I've added what I consider to be a lightning round.
Okay.
It's actually I've also named it the lightning round, so it's beyond consideration.
What else is there to say about Chrome OS and Android?
There's kind of a lot. I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know. So you've been reviewing tons of phones lately.
Yes.
The whole site has
do.
been reviewing tons of phones
Yes.
lately. Where's Android at right now?
I can't really say that like Android's in a different place now than it would have been a year ago. It's still the same. It's still the same thing where the best Android experience is on Nexus devices, which come with their own limitations and things like that. I will say that the Nexus devices of today are much better than Nexus devices have ever been before in the respect that you can go and buy a Nexus device without a huge compromise. It used to be like a year ago or even 2 years ago or however long, if you were buying a Nexus device, you were compromising the camera, you're compromising the battery, you're compromising somewhere where like if you went and bought Samsung's best phone or HTC's best phone at the time, you got a better experience on those levels, but the Nexus gave you the best software. So now we have Nexus phones that have the best software, they've got really great cameras, great battery life, et cetera, et cetera. But they're still like niche products, niche things. Right. It's like that's not changed. So, state of Android is kind of the same.
Here's my question about this merging. If Android is not powerful like enough, or it has, I don't know, the wrong model, I think, and we haven't seen it on processors powerful enough to run full desktop class Chrome, the way that you see Chrome on Chrome OS, right? Like that thing is a heavy beast of an app. And I don't know that Android could lift it. But then on the flip side, when you look at the kind of processors and stuff that Chrome OS typically runs on, whether it be ARM or x86, is that power efficient enough to like shrink down, put Android on top of it, and put it on a phone? I don't think so. So like, for me, the biggest question is like fundamentally, what underpinning work do they have to do to make this happen?
Right.
And if Android ends up being the base, we need to see how it runs on like comparable Intel hardware, which is why I'm incredibly interested to see what the Pixel C does. Android also needs, I don't know, windowing or split screen or something built into it.
Something that works over on a screen bigger than 7 inches.
Yeah. I mean, the state of Android is actually not the same as it ever was, insofar as like Samsung's not making money hand over fist on it anymore, right? So like, who's making money on Android? Right. I
mean, Samsung is still making money. It's just they are making less money than before, which is like terrible for the stock market.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, they're not selling their high-end devices like they used to, and people aren't buying them, and it's a bummer because it's the best products they've ever made. But yeah, who's making money off of Android is an excellent question. Is Google really making money off of Android? No, Google makes money off of search. They might make a token thing off of Android.
I bet they make money off Android.
But
it's all driven to search.
That's why they should make phones.
Right.
Or tablets or whatever. Like, I know. Would you buy a Google laptop over an Apple laptop?
Nah.
Why? Why?
Actually, I did use that Chromebook one day.
Yeah.
Dieter saved me.
Yeah.
And it was fine experience. A little bit to get used to, but it was fine overall.
You didn't know it had a touchscreen, as I recall.
Oh no, it took hours before that was revealed to me by me. No, because I'm used. I don't know, because I'm used to this thing and it works good. It's fast.
Yeah. I'm ready. Am I the only one? I'm like I've had this stuff for so long. It's worked basically the same for so long.
You gonna buy a Surface Book?
Don't buy.
Well, we found out today that Windows destroys our calendars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So we, as the viewer, listener, whoever you are, however you wish to consume us, it's a ridiculous phrase. May know we run our business on Google Apps. We have a lot of Windows 10 devices floating around. We plug them in. We plug them in. We plug them into those Google Apps, and they've just been destroying our lives. Like there's no easier way to piss off 50 people worldwide than to just change every calendar entry across 3 calendars.
Yeah, that
just
we all
move
need.
around back and forth by an hour.
Yeah.
When's the features meeting? I don't know. Is it 3 o'clock? Is it 5 o'clock? Is it canceled? Who the hell knows?
And when those
Windows 10
programs,
doesn't. That's why it keeps fucking it up.
And then other programs, and I don't know which, are randomly like sending updates that mean nothing. They don't change the calendar, but I would say 2 or 3 times a day, like a random staff member sends me an email about a calendar appointment that neither of us are actually going to. I just get the email.
And then because it looks intentional, because it's email, people reply to the email with other snippy emails. Like, literally, Walt just sent Tom an email that was like, the tech meeting is not at 1 p.m., Tom. And Tom was like, sorry. Sorry.
I've gotten a lot of those emails because look, the reality is that Tom and myself are the ones that use the most Windows devices because we're constantly testing them and reviewing them and whatever. So frequently, the calendar rearrangement appears to come from my email address.
Yeah.
And I get emails back from Liz, who's ready to bite my head off the next time the science meeting moves.
Literally,
Or
the note was, Dan has never been to the science meeting. Why did he change? Like, it's destroying our lives. Like, I think of the Verge as a family, as a cohesive unit, as a team, as, it's us against the world, whatever. It's us against Mashable forever, but we need our bonds to stay strong. And Windows 10 is just tearing at the fabric of our society.
This is so funny because we're the same company, but obviously on Racked, like we haven't had this problem at all because everyone has an iPhone.
Oh, if you want to take over Racked, you know what you do? You divide and conquer by giving one person a Windows phone.
Just fuck it all up.
Just literally tear it apart. Like, people would be like, "What happened to Racked? It was so promising. It was growing. It had all this talent." And you'd be like, "Well, Nicola introduced Windows 10 to the
Nicola got
calendar."
interested in tech and bought this weird phone.
Nicola had to have that Surface Book.
She had this stupid mission, Operation something. I don't know.
So we have to do more
something?
research on what the
we
heck
don't
is
know for
causing this.
sure that it's
But it
destroying
appears
our
to
lives.
be
Pretty
the
confident.
native calendar app on Windows 10, which is what you sign into when you use the native mail app on Windows 10. It is having all kinds of sync issues with Google Apps accounts.
But it moves appointments that you didn't create, but you are going to an hour later.
Yes.
Consistently.
Which might be related to daylight savings time. Who knows?
Right. But it doesn't do it by you interacting with it. It just does it.
Just does it.
Just
When it feels like it.
Whether I'm designing, presenting, writing, or building, Dropbox makes it simple to work together on any file.
And it doesn't mess up your calendar.
Now we're just making promises. Over 400 people. 400 people. 400 people use Dropbox.
Like 400 or 500 people
Technically true.
470 people use Dropbox around the world.
around the world.
Who knew? Over 400 million people around the world already use Dropbox. And now, ring the alarm. There's Dropbox just for your business. Dropbox for your business helps you work the way you want to work. All of the things you love about Dropbox with enterprise-grade security and administrative controls, they help your team work together on any file type, on any device, simply and securely. If you could move your calendars on Windows to Dropbox, that would be great. Customizable sharing controls like expiration dates and passwords for shares links are dope. That's not a sentence, Dropbox PR people. Think about it. Dropbox for Business enables your entire team to work the way they want to work on any file from anywhere. What do I like the best about Dropbox? Do you like anything about Dropbox?
I like a lot of things about Dropbox.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like how it automatically syncs my files and makes it relatively easy to share stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Anyway, look, over 100 businesses, over 100,000 businesses already use Dropbox for Business. Dropbox for Business. It's all yours, Dan Seifert.
Yes. We are actually one of those companies that use it.
We do.
Fox Media.
We do. For moving files.
Moving files.
Yeah.
Syncing stuff.
We should get Dropbox for Business.
We have it.
Oh, do we?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
See, the thing about figureheads...
Unlimited storage.
I don't do anything. I do some slacking. I do some
know.
pointing.
I went to the
Do some
Dropbox.
delegating.
I prioritized the Dropbox party at South by Southwest because I was like, I love Dropbox so much, I want to party with it.
Wow. See, that should have been in the ad.
There's
How do you
that.
party with Dropbox?
Dude.
How do you party without Dropbox?
I mean,
This is ridiculous.
You sync a playlist across a shared folder.
Guys, I'm gonna Vergecast in a t-shirt. It is freaking hot in here.
Yeah, it was so
What
nice and
happened to
cool
our air
in here.
conditioning?
Also, my t-shirt doesn't match my overshirt. It's gray, which is inappropriate.
so
to
Nilay
a
has
red
buttoned.
shirt.
No, Nilay's still unbuttoned.
I got
is
the
unbuttoning.
Western buttons. I just ripped it
Dan's
open.
the only one left.
Yeah.
Don't make that move, Dan.
Nope. Stand firm.
Wow, it's way cooler with just your
Oh
buttons
my
open.
God, this is
The
ridiculous.
case being
Let's talk
This
about
is
smartwatches.
super compelling audio content.
fashion tech right here.
It's. Which is more? We could talk about shirts all day, or Nicola could do that fashion tech
Amir
hand
Efrati-
a
movement.
lot of that.
Amir Efrati at The Information says, just posted an article that says that Google recently talked with some microchip makers about developing chips based on Google's own preferred designs.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's just like increased verticalization. Like Apple makes its own chips. It feels like everybody has to make their own chips.
Yep.
I there's no way we can ever remember this bet, but I would bet you 5 years from now Google's fully making its own hardware. And
They are now in like
the Pixel
we're
C
pretend.
doesn't count. Yeah, it's like
right.
the Chromebook Pixel and Pixel C, great, but like I mean, they're in the market head to head with Apple, their own phones, their own laptops, like fully integrated and fully consumer.
Yeah. Did you
Why
see
not?
that story about one of the
Why shouldn't
engineers
they,
for the
right?
Pixel?
Because that basically means that Google will kill Sony and Samsung and whoever else uses their operating. I mean, like they'll be head to head with their own OEMs, which has never worked in the history of the world.
Why?
Yeah, Microsoft is dealing with it right now.
Why is a really good question. It's like because Microsoft is actually the best example. So Microsoft makes Windows their business for years and years and years was selling Windows to like Dell and Lenovo and HP, and they made the hardware and Microsoft made the software. The second Microsoft started making hardware, they started outclassing their hardware vendors, and the hardware vendors were doing dumb things like trying to make software as well. So they would like add really bad software on top of Windows. So when you bought a cheap Dell laptop, it would come loaded with garbage because that's how they competed to differentiate Windows. But Microsoft like now makes the Surface and the Surface Book, and they are objectively better than many of the computers from their own hardware vendors. And so if you're a hardware vendor, you're like, why am I competing with the provider of my software? And you walk away. And so the most famous example of this, which Dieter can probably tell you all about, is Palm, which used to be a company called Palm.
Take it off.
Yeah, Dieter's going to get another beer.
Yeah, more alcohol for this one.
So there was a company called Palm that made the original Palm Pilot, and it split into two companies, one called Palm One and one called Palm Source. Palm Source was going to be the software company for a whole world of cool Palm devices that ran the Palm OS.
One of which was a company in Iowa called Handango,
Yeah.
which made a Palm Pilot that had a little expandable memory slot.
Oh my God, this is such a saga. And then
in
another
Iowa,
one.
it was awesome.
There was Handango and there was Handspring.
Handspring created by the original founders of Palm, who were mad at Palm for being bad at their jobs.
Yeah, so Palm split. The original founders quit, started
actually-
Handspring. And then Palm One bought Handspring back. So the founders came back, and then they recombined it with Palm Source.
Yep.
And then somewhere along the line, they split that off and sold it to a company called Access. I mean, it was like a disaster. Like at every possible level of this plan, it was a disaster. There's something important about the visor that I'm trying to think of. The Handspring visor was like a really important product for a specific reason.
Handspring visor was an important product for a specific reason because it was designed to take the basis of like a PDA and show that you could modularize stuff so that you could eventually make a phone.
It became the Trio.
It became the Trio.
Right. So when Palm wanted to go into making phones, they made some of the first ever smartphones by buying Handspring, their old founders, and became Palm.
Right. By the way, one of the reasons Handspring couldn't stay independent is they bought too much real estate.
Ridiculous. They
Bad
bought like a
bubble
vacation
deals.
house in
No,
Napa.
they got a swank ass headquarters, and they're like, oh, we need to sell more phones. This is awkward.
Oh my god. Anyhow, while all of that is happening, like Sony is licensing the software to make arguably the best handhelds ever in the Clie because they were the coolest.
Yeah, they never made a phone out of that.
They never made a phone, but they made the coolest ones, and all of this was just a wreck, like just wreckage, like industry wreckage left and right, and somewhere in there, like many phones were made, and Dieter began a career.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, I started my career a little over 13 years ago,
Yeah,
writing about the Trio.
yeah.
I feel like I learned a
TrioCentral.com.
little
There
bit
are-
about something.
There are photos if you
I
know
know
what to
it
Google.
involves-
Wait,
But
what's the point of this story?
The point of the story was that a software vendor trying to compete with its own OEMs by making its own hardware is always a bad idea.
Right.
And there's so much noise in that ecosystem because everyone's mad at each other all the time that nothing ever moves forward. And so like Microsoft is facing it right now. Like all of Microsoft's OEM partners are mad. Like Lenovo's mad, Dell's mad, whatever. They're all mad because Microsoft made its first laptop.
Yeah, but I think Microsoft is going to solve that problem by not caring.
Yeah.
That's like how they're going to fix
Because
that.
unless Google shows up and makes an operating system and says to vendors like, hey, you can pick
Right.
this one too.
Yeah, then that
And we're
changes
still going to
things.
make hardware too, but now you have a choice of like
Right.
which bad deal are you going to take.
Right.
But if Google like starts making its own phone and marketing heavily against Samsung, like no one will buy a Samsung phone. Like they will kill Samsung's mobile business.
I mean, Apple's already killing Samsung's mobile business. So like Google would just like put a knife like into the body that's like fallen on the ground.
Oh, poor Samsung. The body on the ground, just bleeding S apps and services. Just can't do it.
Milk music, just.
Wow. And the S6 and the Note 5 are great.
I bought one. I spent hundreds of dollars on one because it is the best product
Why
that
do you
they've
have
ever
it in
made.
a case that looks like a checkbook?
Because
gonna write
this is
some
my dad
checks?
case.
It'd be amazing if you could open it up and like write a check on the screen and then it like printed a check out.
So I could, in theory, because I have the S Pen. So I open it up.
If you
and then
guys ever wanted to hear like the ultimate in Samsung branded content, it's Dan saying, I could write a check on my Galaxy Note because I have the S Pen. We should get money for that. That was an unprompted use of the phrase S Pen.
Yeah, unprompted.
Did you see the post we did about the Ariana Grande video with the Note 5 in
Yeah,
it?
the Note 5 commercial /
That
Ariana
is
Grande
some
video.
of the worst product placement I've ever seen in my life.
It's unbelievable.
She also has far better handwriting on a Note 5 than I do.
Oh my god, I can't wait to watch it.
It's for Focus, the new track Focus. Have you
Yeah.
heard or seen this?
There's literally a shot of like her standing in a circular room and the camera goes around and she's just taking selfies with the
Well,
Note
other
5.
people take photos of her in a circle, and she's like, it's like ridiculous.
It's like all pretense of a plot goes right out the window.
And
they're
I
just like,
would say Caitlin Tiffany's post on our side about this thing is one of the best things we've published the past month.
it's pretty hot fire.
All right. We're
Smartwatches.
so far from smartwatches. All right, Nicola, you reviewed the Pebble Time round.
Yeah.
Today, actually, yeah.
They make a lot of shapes, squares.
No, they make circles.
no triangles out
make- they
there.
make-
What's
they make
with that?
circles.
Why no
Triangle shade,
triangles?
octagon shade.
Why have you arranged a box to display the words Samsung Gear S2? What is happening over there?
This is my kiosk, Nilay. You
Nicola-
gave me this. I brought the fern.
Nicola is running a mall kiosk
Yeah.
in the corner
have
of
one,
the
two,
of
three,
the
four,
studio.
five,
Did
six,
we ever
seven,
figure out the
eight,
name of the
nine.
Watch Mall kiosk store?
No, somebody please tweet at me.
Please.
There's an opposite of sunglasses. Is it or watch is the opposite of sunglasses?
Sunglass Hut used to
So
sell
there's like
watches,
a
actually.
pair. Like there's Sunglass Hut and then there's the watch one.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
compliment.
the watch one.
And I cannot, for the life of me, remember what the watch one is called. Anyhow,
I'm gonna throw out the watch connection.
just out
Sure.
there.
Throw it out there.
All right. Well,
makes sense.
Nicola's
hopefully-
watch connection. We have 9 or something watches here.
All right.
And
Well,
4 boxes.
So in addition to doing the Pebble Time, you guys also did a pair of This Is My Next, the best.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
Mr. Bowen did both of them.
Right.
Oh, you did both of
we
them?
did both for iPhone and Android rather than just doing one for both of them. Right. Because the
That makes no
platforms are so
sense.
different. And I didn't get to include the Pebble Time round in that.
Unfortunately,
that thing.
because of embargoes. and
I don't know if it
funding.
would have changed my final
it's not
answer.
Dakota Watches. That's a brand of watches. 3 people have said Dakota Watches tonight.
It might just be Dakota Watch.
No, that's like saying, what is the sunglass store in the mall? And people are like, Ray-Ban. Like, that's not Sunglass Hut.
Are you sure?
I'm like pretty sure. All right. Anyway, but you said obviously the Apple Watch is the best smartwatch for iOS.
I'm Googling Dakota
and Watch Station. Does that make any sense?
Watch Station.
Kinda
watch
makes
out.
sense.
It should be called Watch Out.
Yeah, so of course the Apple Watch is the best for, well, not of course, actually, not at all, of course. The Apple Watch is the best for the iPhone.
Yeah.
And I think that the best Android Wear watch is the best thing for Android. And I think for me, the best Android Wear watch is the Moto 360, the 2015 edition.
Right. But then you say it might be the Pebble Round.
No, I did
No.
not say that. No.
I like the Pebble Round.
The
Times Square. It's called fucking Times Square.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's so good.
Especially if it's a
Thank
square.
you.
If it's a square kiosk in the middle. Of the mall.
DDDDDVYY emoji thing.
Shouts to you.
You're good at Twitter today. It's called Watch It in Canada.
No, I agree. I agree with Dieter's assessment. I think that so much of the smartwatch, as we know it today, depends on the platform of your smartphone, and the watch that has the same platform as your smartphone tends to be the best experience.
Right.
The Pebble Time round is a round Pebble Time. Like
No. It's a round, ridiculously thin.
Yes, there are like other things, but like on a user experience level, it's a round Pebble Time. Like the experience is exactly the same, except it's now just fit to a round screen.
Yeah.
And so like all of the pros and cons that come with the Pebble platform apply to the Time round.
Right.
It's really
Except
cool.
it's good
thin.
looking.
It looks better. It's a step forward.
What do you want a smartwatch to do? So last week I asked people to tweet at me what their favorite Apple Watch app is, and like basically everyone was like, "I like notifications."
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what we all know a smartwatch to do. And I was thinking before we came on of like coming up with like what is the state of smartwatches right now? And right now, we're still waiting. We're waiting for the next step in smartwatches. So we have like Android Wear and Apple Watch introduce platforms to smartwatches in ways like we hadn't seen before. The next step is a smartwatch that doesn't need your smartphone. And yes, there have been
Is
cellular
that the
connected
next
ones
step?
in the past. But
Can't we have a step in between where the apps don't suck?
I mean, we can.
I would like that step.
Yeah, but
the
that's
apps
that's just iterating on what
But
we already have, right?
But no, like it's like the Apple Watch has this problem and the Apple TV
Yeah.
has this problem. Like, what is the killer app for the Apple Watch beyond
I don't think there is. I don't think there is one. I think that's
like,
the,
why do
For me,
you-
it's
the struggle for
straight
everything.
up. I do like voice commands. I like being able to remind myself of little things.
I'm going to blow up Dieter's spot because he does this in the office and he
Yeah.
sits 2 seats down from me and he like holds his watch up to his face and he secretly says like, remind me to so-and-so when I get home.
Oh my God.
And it
Between
usually
that-
takes him 3 times.
No,
So
I just
I'm
wanna-
like,
I-
It's only
Here's
because
what I wanna say.
The only reason it doesn't work the first time is because I start doing it, and Dan is like, "Oh, you're trying to do
I'm
it
going
again."
to say that between Dieter secretly talking to his watch and secretly vaping, he's a supervillain.
So if you watch the video for This Is My Next and you watch like just the first 45 seconds of it, I'm basically talking you out of buying a smartwatch. Like the first 45 seconds are, it'll give you notifications and that's cool, but the apps kind of suck and they're hard to use and the battery life.
Have you
not so
picked a
good.
smartwatch, Nicola?
Yeah.
Picked one.
You've got
Like
all
you
these
have,
smartwatches.
you've got a bunch that we've provided to you. But
Yeah.
Have you purchased one?
No.
Which one do you like over there?
please.
What's your favorite over there?
I like this one.
That's Moto 360.
So that is the
It's
smaller
the winner. I
Yeah.
heard.
new Moto 360.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why-
I like this guy. I think it has a good ratio, circle to band. It's substantial, but it's not like wildly big. Like this guy is too much.
What's
this
that
is
one?
the
The Huawei?
That's a LG Watch Urbane.
Yeah, this is way too much watch.
I think Dieter described that watch best when he said it was a cheap watch that's trying to look not cheap, but
Yep.
still looks cheap.
Oh, so
Yep.
it's a fossil.
Yeah. And then the one next to it is the Huawei watch, which I said it was a watch only Gordon Gekko could love.
Let's see. Wait, hold that one up.
So that watch has no style.
Yeah, this is just.
Wait,
it helps that they're all dead.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Which
that's the
one's
other
good?
story of
I don't know. They're
smartwatches
all
is that they
dead.
die all the time.
Except for the Pebbles.
Well, except for the Pebbles. Right.
The Pebble looks like the pared down version of the.
Yeah, the
Moto
Pebble Round.
360.
Say what you said before we were rolling.
Oh well, so today is the launch of H&M's latest designer collaboration with Balmain, and I said that the Pebble Round is the H&M Balmain version of the Balmain, which would be the Moto 360. Oh, I don't like that at all, but I said it. But no, this one this Pebble one doesn't read like it. It looks like a toy. This reads as like a
Product, not
I'm
toy.
impressed.
But the Pebble
Yeah.
manages to be thin and light and small.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I saw
it
like
also, I mean, maybe this is on purpose. I guess it looks like a regular watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, I think that's a plus that it looks like
Yeah.
a regular watch. Because it's like there's no tech company
What
logo
is a
on
watch,
it. It doesn't
really?
scream gadget on your wrist.
Wait,
I don't know why
So
my
from,
song
Sorry.
from across the room,
I think I
Yeah.
turned music on
Yes, you did.
somewhere.
Nicola just
it's still paired to my phone.
you just turned S music on and
What
Dan
song was
Samsung
that?
Galaxy
Return.
Note 5.
Return to the moon.
Hey,
Can
use
you
your S
stop?
Pen to shut that off. Dude.
I'm sorry. I'm
so
trying
you guys
to
got
go
a neat
elsewhere.
preview of the latest Elvi album, which came out last week.
I'm just saying, you can stop it with your S Pen.
I could stop it with my S Pen,
Just draw no.
and then I will get sabotaged by Nicola across the room.
Tomorrow at 6 a.m.
So that's a great example.
Nicholas, just
of-
reading your calendar now.
Sunrise at 6:33 tomorrow. Hive 75.
What do you wait, Dan? Are you wearing an Apple Watch? What do
No,
you
so
say?
this is the Asus ZenWatch 2.
yeah.
comes in 2 sizes. I think it's ugly.
Dan doesn't have any
It's
plans
pretty
on
ugly.
Saturday.
Oh my God. That's brutal.
I'll stop.
Yes, I put my social events on my wrist calendar.
So
No,
all-
go ahead and change our staff calendar from the watch.
Yeah. So you picked your favorite out of all the smartwatches, but is that like the
Which is
best
the
among
worst?
the things you hate, but like you still hate them all, or
I mean, all right. It's like no. This is totally a fine object. As just an object, like not knowing really the innards
She's
of this.
holding
Like
the
this is a
360 again.
completely
Yeah.
fine object. I still think that like overwhelmingly they're definitely designed for traditionally male tastes and also
Yes.
male-sized bodies.
So
Yeah.
I will say that, yes, you are totally right. the flip side of that is those are all review units that we've called into from the companies, and knowing the author that would be reviewing it was probably going to be male, so we picked the male version. So like the Pebble Time Round actually comes in a different version that's geared towards women that has a narrower band.
As does the Moto 360.
As does the Moto 360. The one with the tan strap, if you want to hold that one up, Nicola, that is the Asus ZenWatch 2. That's the one that's geared towards women.
This is my favorite band
I have the
color.
men's version of that on my wrist. That's the women's version, which has a narrower band, smaller face, etc. But yeah, you're totally right. They are all really masculine looking and kind of geared towards men for the most part, unless you can get an alternative women's model. The thing with like the Motorola and the Pebble is that the band is narrower, but the face of the watch is still the same size. Mm-hmm. So like it's not dramatically smaller. And Lauren Good, who spent some time with the women's version of the Motorola, found that it was still pretty clumsy and clunky on her wrist. So
yeah. I don't know. I'm still struggling to understand what they're for. And like, I think that's the problem that
I think they are
eludes the entire industry. Like, what is it for? Like,
yeah, I totally agree. You can make a really easy, compelling sales pitch for a smartphone in like 2 minutes. Why every person you know should have a smartphone, and why the reasons why they shouldn't are really, really few and far between. You can't make that pitch for a smartwatch. Not at least where they are now.
Right. And it's just weird because, Nick, we all worked together on the Apple Watch review long ago, however many years ago that was.
February?
Yeah, it was February.
Well, so most of the watches, all of the watches on that table have like come out since the Apple Watch.
Oh,
Like
really?
that. All of those watches are responses to the Apple Watch in some way.
Six of them have
And the
round
biggest
faces.
response is that I see is that they come in 2 sizes now.
They come in 2 sizes now, but they're also round. Like
expensive.
Android watches are now round. Like
That's a
Android
differentiator.
Wear has turned into a platform that's sort of headed towards round displays as a default, and Apple seems very content to push people towards its square display.
Yeah, the rectangle is weird to me, or square. I think it's a rectangle.
A square is in fact a rectangle. Yes.
A square is a rectangle,
No, it's
but
just
a
funny.
rectangle isn't a square.
We've done a lot of shape conversation on this show today, like circles and squares. There was a triangle moment.
Don't bring me in if you're not going to do the geometries.
These are like the conversations I have with my 4-year-old.
Don't bring me in if you're not going to do the geometry. It's brutal. That's some figurehead shit.
Yeah.
Like
So
Nicholas here,
that's the
geometry
42
time.
millimeter,
Intimidating.
right? That's the larger
Yeah.
Apple Watch.
Yeah,
So-
but I'm just like personally, I don't care for the rectangle. Like in general, to me, it's like futuristic in like a weird bad way.
Wait, so you were telling me last week, I think, that we're past the first Apple Watch moment. It's settled down. Apple hyped this thing as like that was their big new product last year, right? Like it was supposed to be the revolution. They haven't released sales figures on it. It feels like it's not everywhere. I don't see a lot of them unless I'm working with Verge people.
I see a fair amount of them, but
I've
that's also
been
because like I
noticing
notice them.
more
I don't
I
know.
pay
lately.
attention.
I saw
Apple
one
put
today.
them on sale. I don't know if anybody saw this.
What?
Sort of. Yeah.
Sort of
Sorta.
on sale. They did a trial run of a sale where they're $50 off. You bought an iPhone. Which
So if you spent
if you spend
$1,000,
yeah, it's like ridiculous. So it's like weird, and like there's still not a lot of like we don't get a lot of PR for Apple Watch apps, which is a strange phenomenon.
Yep.
Right. We just did the Apple TV review. I'm getting inundated with PR for Apple TV apps, and like who knows? Like maybe that platform will succeed or maybe it will fail. But like at least right now, it's in a moment of ascendancy. The Apple Watch appears, in my mind, to have plateaued.
Here's a question.
But then you were telling me, Nicola, that they are now starting to reach out to like fashion sites and like fashion people.
Yeah, they definitely did a blast of freebies with the fashion ladies. Because I like remember there was like one day on Instagram where all of a sudden like every like other editor that I know had like an Instagram of, and it was the rose gold with the what I've now learned is called vintage rose watch strap, and someone at Rack's got one here, not myself. Maybe they watched the video we did in February, but yeah, it like clearly there was like gifting involved, and then like a few weeks later, maybe 2 weeks later, there was the Chloe Sevigny ads that they ran on Instagram, 15-second ads. Chloe Sevigny like trying on lots of different outfits and having different watches to go with them.
that they're running those 15-second ads on TV, and it's like I was just gonna say, I think that the ads for the Apple Watch have been like the worst ads that Apple's produced in 2 or 3 years.
Because they don't know what it does.
They don't, and like there's these super short, like 15, maybe 30-second ads that like don't convey anything about the product, about like what it does or why you should need it.
You know, when you see like an iPhone billboard and it's just really like a sexy graphic image of an iPhone. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's in perspective and it doesn't show it doing anything. It just shows it as an object. And I've noticed that they don't do that with the watch. There's no advertising where it's just like a traditional watch ad, like for a non-smart watch. It's just like a person doing something glamorous that you want to be part of. It's like perfume ads where like, because you can't smell it. So it's like they create an idea of like what this person is or what this life is. And it's weird to me with the Apple Watch that they haven't stopped and done like just like it's a sexy, beautiful thing on a sexy, beautiful person doing something sexy and beautiful. It's all this like a mom was stressed out with ice cream who can pay. Like, that's literally that. If there's no like romantic, like no one's on a yacht, you know, why not?
They did some of that at the very beginning, I want to say.
They in the beginning, they're like, here's what it can do. I think the problem that all of these vendors are stuck in is that these things are most useful when you're busy doing something else.
Right.
Right? They're most useful when you don't have time to pick up your phone. But it's like phone advertising. The promise of the phone is it will like grant you additional capabilities. Right? You get a phone and suddenly you can like book an Airbnb and go to a glamorous place or like look at Twitter and have people talk to you in curt, unprofessional tones. You know, you can like open Facebook and like high school.
You can video chat with somebody across the world.
Yeah, that's better than opening Facebook. Opening Facebook is like, oh, everyone I know from my school is still terrible. My Facebook's weird. But it's with the watch, it's like it doesn't grant you that many additional capabilities, right? Like it's just
It tells you the time.
It tells you the time, and then it
if the display is on,
and then it connects to all the capabilities of your phone. So like you have all those ads have to be about how somebody else already has a better life, and they're like so cool that the watch is like helping them do something that they would do with their phone, and there's like a disconnect there because the watch doesn't help them get that life. The watch is like they're so much cooler than you that they need this watch to like
or
push this button.
They're so cool, they're Lagerfelding, and they haven't even set up the watch.
Lagerfelding for days, bruh. for days. Oh, it's so good.
The best. Really the best.
I mean, do you think Karl Lagerfeld has ever set up that watch?
No.
Do you think Karl Lagerfeld has
They
ever
probably
used a
like
smartphone?
sent like a special person, like someone like specially went there and was all nervous and packed and stressed out, and you know what I mean? Like they went through this whole thing and then they got there and they just no. Where's
They
my
probably
paycheck?
like put it on his wrist, took the picture.
What
Yeah.
would it take for you to buy a smartwatch? Like, what would have to happen?
What would have to happen?
Do you wear a non-smartwatch ever?
No. But I wear bracelets.
So do I. Hey.
Eh.
I mean, that's essentially what that is.
Yeah,
If
no.
it's
A
Lagerfeld,
Lagerfeld
it's a
smartwatch is a bracelet.
Right.
And you people made fun of me.
It would be cool if I could. Sometimes one thing
Oh my God, what are you doing?
that takes a lot of time is queuing up the song I'm in the mood for. You know what I mean?
Why don't you
talk to
play it
your
on
phone.
mine?
You could just talk to your watch.
But it's
Or-
on Spotify.
Oh.
So I can't be like,
You should
Can't
pay
feel
for
my-
every single music service, even the ones you don't use.
That's what I do.
Except for Google Play Music, which I refuse to use.
I
now
prefer-
just trolling
oh,
people.
God.
Huh?
Yeah.
I pay for it. YouTube Red, best
oh
money
my
I've ever
God,
paid
I
for.
was on a vacation with a friend and we had a
Do
car.
I have YouTube Red? I have no idea.
You should.
If you
How do I
have
know?
Play Music, you do.
Okay.
I was on vacation with a plugged-in friend, and he had Google Music, and I was like, "Oh, look at you! I've never seen
so
this
cute.
before out in the wild." He
I
loves
have
it.
YouTube Red. Oh my God. If you go to youtube.com/red and you have it, it just says straight on the first page, you have YouTube Red. It just tells you.
And then it redirects you to a porn site.
Yeah. When do you think they're going to release a second Apple Watch?
Me?
Oh, anybody. When's the next one coming?
My guess would
summer?
be fall 2016.
Yeah, it's a long way away because they just started selling the Hermes.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Hermes, like the basic Hermes, like as basic as Hermes could be with the single brown leather strap. I think that looks really nice.
But isn't it a
like
double
not the
strap?
cuff. You can get the double strap,
Oh,
or you
you
can get
can
a
also
cuff,
get the-
which is like his style,
This guy.
or you can get the standard brown leather strap, which would make it kind of look like the Motorola.
Yeah, I think they have a long way to go before they.
What's the pricing on that one?
Starts at $1,100, goes up to I think $1,599.
That's dumb.
It's a deal.
Ridiculous. You know what's cheaper though? Soft layer, motherfuckers. A cloud built for scale. Your business application. Dieter is looking at me like a crazy person. I believe the SoftLayer people are in love with my ad reads.
By the way, change your tagline to SoftLayer, motherfuckers, right now.
Your business applications and computational workloads are unique, so you deserve cloud resources that meet your specific needs. SoftLayer, one of the only cloud providers that provisions dedicated servers and virtual servers. Otherwise, I believe you all know this now, is known as a public cloud. This comes from a single seamless platform that's on demand, all connected to the same open API, all connected to a global private network. It scales your workloads up and down quickly. There's ample space for your storage-intensive tasks. I mean, honestly, if you're into the cloud, SoftLayer is what you're into. SoftLayer, an IBM company, as I believe everybody knows now. IBM uses SoftLayer, so if you buy IBM stuff, you get SoftLayer on the back end. All of our listeners have the opportunity to get $500 of cloud infrastructure by visiting softlayer.com/podcast. An additional $500 of SoftLayer changes that to softlayer.com/fuckers. Think about it. You can order bare metal servers, virtual servers, storage, networking, and security services from your choice of data centers. SoftLayer has 24 data centers around the world. All of those servers and services are connected to SoftLayer's unique network of networks, which separates public, private, and management traffic, ensuring the traffic to and from your cloud infrastructure is traveling efficiently and with attitude. You can automate and control your cloud infrastructure with a granular API or with the easy-to-use SoftLayer customer portal. Please, I beg of you, visit softlayer.com/podcast to get started with your $500 off of server storage, network, and security on a cloud built to scale from SoftLayer.
There's a hashtag, by the way.
Oh no! What have we done? I'm sorry. I'm trying, guys. What are you gonna do? All right, it's time for the lightning round.
What are the rules of the lightning round?
I'm just gonna say some things, and you guys can jump in on the things. Does that make any sense? I'm gonna say some topics.
Okay.
From the week.
But we have to be fast.
Yeah, it's a lightning.
We're
We're gonna move.
we're not gonna discuss.
I like to hear from all of you on said topics, but I'm just gonna throw them out there, and you're gonna respond.
Okay.
Lightning round. Hearts versus stars on Twitter.
Love hearts.
Faves.
Faves for life.
Terrible. Terrible.
Because a favorite, you can only have one. It makes no sense.
Oh, you are
It's like
validating
goat.
Twitter's reasoning for changing this.
Greatest of
which
all
is like-
time. It's the worst. I can't stand it.
I can't. It's literally a hearts on Twitter. Like faving a super or putting a heart next to a super sarcastic Casey tweet is so wrong.
Yeah.
Or like a super terrible AP tweet about like some tragedy.
The
Like,
hearts are treacle, right? It's all just like two
Oh, because a
sweet.
star is like a little,
just
it's like a punch in the
Google
arm.
what
Like,
that means.
yeah, but a heart is like a,
No, but a star is like, I'm going to look at this later. I'm going to remember
review.
this.
UIMAX. It's lightning round. Lightning strikes. Lightning crashes.
so
Is
new
there a
IMAX.
noise?
New
Can someone
IMAX.
make
Best all ones you can buy. But if you buy the base model, you're an idiot because they give you that really crappy slow hard drive. So you have to spend a good amount of money to get one.
When was the last time you used a desktop computer?
I don't know.
My new iMac thing is, where the hell is the new cinema display?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Cinema display. Come on.
The government does not know how to regulate self-driving cars and Tesla Autopilot.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Do you trust
Yikes.
self-driving cars?
No. No. Who wants that? It's
I
awful.
totally want that.
No way.
I
That's,
would love that.
terrible.
If I could like,
Why
get
don't
in
you
the
just get on
car,
the subway?
The subway is not a self-driving car.
Yeah.
If I could get, if
There
there
is
was
a
a
guy,
robot
yeah.
arm that could like pick me up out of bed, place me in a cocoon, and the cocoon like shot me down the
you want the
stairs,
Jetsons.
Put a blazer
and,
on
like,
you.
yeah,
Put you in the
and like shot me into a car, and I was in the car, and the car drove me to work, and then an arm picked me up and like shot me upstairs,
Jetsons.
and then delivered me at my desk.
And the whole time your phone can read you scientific articles about how sitting is killing you.
Big Disney deal with PlayStation View, ESPN, ABC, Disney Channel, all on PlayStation streaming. Would you give up a TV for that? Give up cable for that?
I don't have cable now.
I don't have cable.
Would you sign up for that to get ESPN, ABC?
No.
Would you ever sign up for any kind of TV package again in your life?
I mean, I pay for Hulu Plus.
Yeah, I was gonna say you must have Hulu, right?
Yeah.
You must have Hulu.
Of course she has Hulu. She doesn't have cable. She's got to have Hulu.
I have Hulu Plus and I have Netflix. So I'm already paying like almost $20 a month.
I think that this View deal makes View more competitive with Sling TV. Like closer.
Have you ever heard of any of those products?
No.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the
there you
problem.
go.
They were never going to spend the money on marketing them. Would you give up?
No.
Okay. James Bond Spectre.
Why aren't you participating in the lightning round?
Because I'm
'Cause
the
he's
I'm
the
the lightning
lightning.
host.
Okay.
Also, hearts are
he's
bullshit.
the
Just to
Steve
be
Harvey.
clear, the only contribution I'm making to the lightning round is that I believe hearts are bullshit. James Bond Spectre.
A good Bond movie is only a Spectre at this point.
Really? I like.
Did you prep that? Have you been
can't.
waiting the whole time to
I think
drop that
that's a
one?
tweet. I think that was a tweet already.
I just.
I'm recycling.
I don't know anything
Is
about
James
this.
Bond? Is it possible for James Bond to be cool again?
Yeah.
Yeah, why
Totally.
wouldn't he
Even
be cool?
Daniel Craig could be cool again, but not with the scripts and crap that he's given at this point.
I just think it's really hard. I think James Bond is a government agent. I think it is hard for government agents in fiction to be super.
That's
cool
not the
right now.
problem.
Yeah,
The
no,
prob-
because
no.
it was cool in Mission Impossible with government agents.
The problem is that James Bond is a misogynist. That's what keeps him from being cool.
I don't think he is one in this one. Daniel Craig's been doing
I
all
haven't
this.
seen it in this
He's
one.
been doing all these interviews about how it's
Oh,
not a
he's
thing.
cooler. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, sure. It's
But
cool.
like even that, like I just like he's an
It's
agent.
very out to be a misogynist right now.
Super.
Very out.
I'm bringing it
Also-
back though. So if you could just shut
I
up.
mean, the pendulum swings, you know?
if you could
sit
just
in your place
simmer
over there.
down.
2017, ladies,
There's been.
can it?
I haven't seen Spectre. There's been a lot of.
The Verge
It's
gets
so
super
dark.
weird in
It's so
2017.
dark.
It's like, could you just go make me a sandwich?
The kitchen isn't kitchening
Wow.
itself.
Wow.
I'm sorry, that shouldn't be as funny.
It's
as I think it
terrible.
is.
There's been a lot of
bad.
shade thrown at Roger Moore
Yeah.
in the aftermath of Spectre and all the bad reviews, and I just want to stand up for Roger Moore. I like him.
Better than Timothy Dalton. I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
not hard.
I just think I think James Bond is over. Like I think it is reached its floor.
As like a gadget nerd, that like totally kills me because like James Bond was like the movie you watch to see all these like crazy out of this world gadgets. and
So
stuff like
hang
that.
on. Did you watch the James Bond gadget supercut that we put on our site?
I didn't see that.
So the supercut's great. It's like 17 minutes of a gadget, whatever. But James Vincent, our genius writer in the UK, decided to just name 5 of the gadgets in the supercut.
Yeah,
And
I did see that.
listen to the names of these gadgets and try not to think of a disturbing sex act. Mousetrap in the pocket.
Come on.
Head smashing plaster cast.
What?
Fake horse ass.
There's a fake duck,
Flamethrower
too.
bagpipes. And person swallowing sofa.
Flamethrower bagpipes. My monster truck name. Just putting that out there. Okay, lightning round. Time Warner showing fewer ads to attract cord cutters back to television. If you could buy cable and it would have fewer ads across the board, would you go back to TV? Yep, that's the answer.
Time Warner
But
took
I'm not-
I would enjoy it as a person that still has cable.
Time Warner took a beautiful little Greek pastry shop that was on my corner, ripped it down and replaced it with a giant, huge 20,000 square foot Time Warner store. Doesn't need to exist.
What do you
Time
buy
Warner
at
is
a
a
Time
phone
Warner
What
number.
happens in a
It's
Time
not a
Warner
store.
store?
What do you buy at a Time Warner store?
Exactly. It was a lovely little restaurant, and now it's like a glass cube where like you talk to a cable rep.
What happens in there?
Get the hell out of Astoria, Time Warner.
There was a DJ at the Bed-Stuy T-Mobile store, and I will tell you, it was lit. It was lit at the T-Mobile store.
There's a point
the
in every-
in-store experience. You don't know what they're doing there.
There's
Friday,
a point
5
in every
p.m.
New Yorker's life when New York dies for them. And for
It's the
Dieter,
DJ
Yeah.
at the T-Mobile store.
Dieter, it died when the Greek restaurant was taken over by Time Warner.
Tony Fidel says Apple's been thinking about a car since 2008.
We've all been
At
thinking about
least.
things since 2008. I have no context.
Cars are.
Would you buy an Apple
are
car?
an area of intense interest.
A what?
Would you buy an
Brian.
Apple car?
Probably.
Just
Based on
because.
things have gone so far,
Yeah.
it's not unlikely.
Okay. And now, wait. Do you have a lightning round response to Apple Car?
Not especially.
All right. So then I asked for questions from Twitter. We have, I would say, 2
Ooh,
minutes.
fun.
Okay. Bob asks, "What's your biggest tech purchase regret?"
Regret?
Yeah.
There's so many.
Google Nexus
Biggest.
4.
Nexus 4.
Yeah, I hated
Brutal.
it the day I got it.
I just
I
bought
love
this
that phone.
alarm clock that wakes you up with simulated daylight.
Oh, I got it. Nexus 9.
Okay. And
I
you're
regret
going
that.
simulated daylight.
Was it the Philips one?
Yes.
Yes, it's terrible.
Why?
It's so
I
bad.
have to send
bought
it back
that
to
too.
Amazon. I've
Okay.
never done a return there.
Okay. Peter asks, "How much would Sprint have to pay you to use Sprint?"
How much is Sprint worth as a company? That much.
Would you switch to Sprint? Do you have Sprint? I bet you have Sprint.
Verizon.
Oh, well, so not the opposite of Sprint. How much would Sprint have to pay you to switch?
I don't know. What's the reputation? It's bad.
It's not good.
No, I love having a phone that works where I am all the time.
So now we've moved right into Verizon branded content.
I don't know. I've been kind of using Project Fi lately, which is almost Sprint.
It's the worst lightning round in history. Clint asks, if you could voluntarily replace your heart with something better, would you? I have no idea what that means, but I love it.
Yes.
Love my heart.
Yeah, totally.
I think that was a heart star. Like, that's what we were supposed to go there.
And then the last one, I guess I
think that's where we're supposed to go.
I would replace my heart with a star. Yes, if that was possible.
It's a meme.
And then somehow I favorited Ellis, reminding me that Tom has been screwing up our calendar with Windows phones for years. So that's where I'm at. This is your last chance. If you have a Twitter question, tweet at me now.
Do you remember when Tom was like using Windows 8 a lot and would send email replies and break the entire thread?
Yes.
Yes, that was the worst.
Oh, if Windows is known for one thing, it's destroying email threads with blue text.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like somewhere there's a designer at Microsoft who's like, email should be blue.
Oh, and
that person like doomed a generation.
It's
to be
also
not
known
cool.
for instead of sending a smiley face in an email, turning it into
J.
a capital
The J.
That's actually Outlook.
The J is the worst thing.
Specifically Outlook, yeah.
Yes, because every PR person uses Outlook, so they'll be like, "Can you make it J?" And I'm like, "What the hell is it?" Took
J?
me like a year of
Yes.
this working
No,
in this
and
industry to like
you educate
figure out.
them. You reply and tell them that they're sending them, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like,
Why don't they know?
They don't know. None of them know.
I hate the J.
Can't stand the J.
There's 100 people out there who's nicknamed Jay being like just dying right now. All right, so that was our show.
Yeah.
I think
J.
a good time. Brought to you by the letter J
And triangles.
and triangles.
Shape of the day,
Octagons.
triangle.
Dan shamelessly shilling for his stylus. Many smartwatches.
Wait, let me get the tab, guys.
And also brought to you. Okay, it would be dope if you could open that and write a check. Like, just if you could write a check and like print it out and hand that to the waiter at the restaurant. Like, that's a vision of the future that never came
You need
true.
a little tiny printer. You could like.
What was that little printer?
And then hand the-
It was called Little
called
Printer.
It was called a little printer.
Sounds great. Why
But
don't
how
y'all
cool
have
would that be if you were like, oh yeah, you know that I will buy
Could
this
you
car,
imagine?
and you like write
that
the
was
check on
that
your
was
phone.
the future of mobile payments.
Writing checks.
Writing checks and printed out of your smartphone.
I'm saying there's a vision. There's probably like an old AT&T ad where that's happening. That's the future.
Oh, it's too
All right, please follow The Verge on Twitter. We're at Verge. You can follow us on Snapchat at The Real Verge on Snapchat.
No
Nicola has a captivating Snapchat
Nicola
channel.
Fumo, all one word.
You can also rate and review us on iTunes. You can answer any of the lightning questions. If you could replace your heart with something better, what would you replace it with? Answer that question on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. You can also listen to Verge ESP with Emily and Liz. You can listen to What's Tech with Chris Plant. You can listen to Control Walt Delete with the captivating Walt Mossberg. All of that is at itunes.com/The Verge. We're also on YouTube. And then you can find all of us at Twitter. And I know that we love it when you tweet at us.
Nicola _Fumo.
Dieter.
Backlon.
I'm Reckless.
DC Seifert. That
was it. I want to thank
Braintree.
once again. I was going to say another swear word, but I think that's for SoftLayer.
Yeah.
Braintree gives you a full stack payment solution. You can support all the payment types your customers might want, except for printing checks out of your Galaxy S5 or Galaxy Note 5. You can start accepting Android Pay, Apple Pay, PayPal, Bitcoin, Venmo, cards, whatever's next, all with a single integration across all of your platforms. There's superior fraud protection, there's customer service, there's fast payouts. My God, check this out at braintreepayments.com/Vergecast. That was it. That was the show. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nicola.
Thanks for having me.
Rock and roll.
Jeff Hawkins.